political commentator, former mayor of Middlesbrough, now a regular with us on the programme. Afternoon to you, Andy. I can imagine Rishi Sunak needs this like a extra hole in the head. He's got a dual government running there on the back benches.
Yeah, hi, Ian. He has, hasn't he? It's do you know what we've got to remember is these men and women, they're trying to save their jobs. They're not really that fussed about what universities do. If they were, they would have been talking about it a year and 2 and 3 years ago.
Yeah.
They're trying to save their jobs. They're trying to talk about immigration because they know it's a hot topic. In my opinion, the big single issue is getting people out of their front room, switch off Richard and Judy if that's still on. You know, as you say, pick some potatoes, paint a fence, pick some litter, do something useful. That culture is diminishing by the year. We need to find a way of getting it back. I think the phrase used, addicted to immigration, is strident, and I think it's probably true. But it's not people who are addicted to immigration, it's our economy. Our economy desperately needs them, from NHS consultants to fruit pickers. And if we didn't have them, we'd be screwed. And I've got no objection, by the way, with anybody coming here to do those jobs, as long as somebody here won't do it. But I'd rather that people here got off the sofa, switched the telly off and got out. And I think in the recent discussion we had, was it 12% of all adult workers are off sick at any one time?
Yeah, what's all that about? I mean,
what's
really,
all that about?
Was it the bat? Is it the bat? I mean, a fella that used to live next to my sister had a bad back for 25 years. It didn't stop him doing multiple other things, but it was the classic, you know, I've got a bad back. Now, I don't want to, you know, in any way criticise someone who's genuinely got back issues. We've all had one from time to time. They're horrible, but this fella had one for a quarter of a century.
I shouldn't laugh, but because there are people who are genuinely physically unable and people who are genuinely mentally unable. But we have a culture of too much sympathy, too much support, and not enough pushing. You know, too much carrot and not enough stick, in my opinion. And we need people out there, as I say, picking litter, painting fences, picking fruit, and doing whatever else. And that's the simple answer. But that's a tougher message for these, what they call new conservatives, to say, it's you lot. You need to get out of bed.
The new sounds like New Labour. Are they kind of gearing up, ready for maybe a bit of a takeover post the next election? We will watch with interest. Let's have a look back to more domestic matters as well. Supermarkets using motorists as cash cows at the petrol pumps. We learned today that supermarkets are accused of essentially sticking an extra 6p per litre more than they should be, which is not really how it's meant to work on the forecourt, Andy.
Well, I think Grant Shapps, did he say something like that retailers are prioritising profits before people? Well, of course they do. That's their job, isn't it? I mean, I'm a bit baffled by this, actually. I drive around, I'm sure you do, anybody remotely sensible, if they see it 5p cheaper, you fill up there, don't you? And you make a mental note that you don't need petrol then, you go back there the next day. People shop where it's cheapest or easiest. And I don't think we should slag the supermarkets off because they're not the cheapest anymore. They used to be. What's happened in retail, with Aldi and Lidl growing and winning custom, the margins for the supermarkets on food have shrunk massively. So they're trying to make it back on petrol. And that's fine. And if I'm stuck, I'll go there to Tesco and fill it. Otherwise, I'll find somewhere cheaper. This is a non-story to me. People should go where it's cheapest or where it's easiest and leave them alone.